All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the most relevant Overwatch competition held on Twitch.tv. I'm AJS0. I'm here with Rakudo. This is the BOL. Rakudo, are you ready for match one?
If I say no, will it be like, I don't know. I feel like I should say no and just be the counterproductive, you know?
Actually, I'm hoping you will say no because we have deep AI AJS0 bot that has been learning from my cast for the past 4 years, ready to step in and co-cast, and we just need somebody to drop.
Bleep
But
blorp,
unfortunately,
bleep blorp.
that does not appear to be today. So here we go, folks. We have Mad Bass against HAREM for the first match of the night. As far as win-loss goes, this is the last place team in Mad Bass, although this is maybe the least relevant the standings will ever be at any point this season. Mad Bass got absolutely rolled by No Talk Wiangi last week, who made his statements. So Mad Bass looking to maybe show that loss had more to do with their opponent than themselves, going to try to bounce back here. Meanwhile, HAREM 2-1 right now, going to try to hold on to that high seed they currently have.
Well, personally, I would like to say, being that I'm on No Talk Wiangi, I think they played well and that they are a great team. I did not have to say that with a gun to my head.
Yeah, they looked excellent last week, so that looks like it's going to have been a big part of it. But one of the big storylines here, Hamster Ball banned last week for Wacky Tabaki, our top 500 tank player on HAREM.
I mean, they should just expect that they're going to play ball, like, at all times.
He might play it for every single minute of this match, and it might be the right decision. So here we go, Wacky Tabaki making his Wrecking Ball debut, and he is going straight up to the top here, looping around behind Mad Bass on defense.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how...
Yeah, there we go. Wacky Tabaki drops in, gets slapped, gets popped.
That was just so...
That was not how Coach drew that one up on the playbook.
I mean, not their playbook. But yeah, it seems like they're going to stick to the old pull and... The pull and hook.
Ooh, but Wacky, that's, I mean, he boops everyone out, but he just doesn't quite look on the same page as his team right now. By the way, a big change here. HAREM is actually on the DPS, not on the tank this week. He's playing Widowmaker, so that's forced Sleepy Subcom to use her res on Super T's McCree. As now this fight kind of getting chaotic here. There's a lot of purple Hellfires, but the damage isn't quite sticking because Lulu and you goes down. Now Wacky Tabaki he's playing this very aggressively, but now he's down as well. This is nearly a tick over. This might be a tick over. No, Dr. Eggman does a good job of getting on the point before that first tick can go to HAREM. This is looking like it's going to be another successful hold here on King's Row. HAREM is going to pop the Widow sights, though, so I think we're going to see this offense. Yeah, Wacky Tabaki going in, drops the minefield. A lot of those mines are kind of high up in the air, though. But they do get a pick out of Andrew Tetris's nade. And now this is finally looking for the offense. First tick over to Mad Bass, or over to HAREM.
Yeah, it's going to be what a Widow's wet dream is to not get dove on, as well as being able to just snipe people, because all you have to do is just... They don't have any shields. Like, they have, like, Arisa's 600 shield, and that is it.
Yeah, Super T with a huge McCree ult comes through to kind of turn that fight around on the point. So it ends up being only half of the first point over to HAREM before they get forced off. And now they are looking at quite a few ults here. They should have 3 heading into this next fight.
Well, they did flop, and now they have a Hanzo, so it's definitely a more different type of snipe.
Yeah, this is a HAREM classic, going for a little more team fight ability here, a little more sustained damage. Maybe something that can work through that Orisa shield a little bit better. So yeah, Wacky up on the high ground. Wacky now dropping it. He's on that entire team yet again. Getting kind of froze up a bit here, though. Andrew Tetris really giving the Wrecking Ball a hard time. And HAREM did get picked up pretty early here by the Roadhog. Now Doomfist slamming in, doesn't find any kills, and dies in the process. This is not looking good for the HAREM.
No, that's probably going to go down right here. The man is back as fast as they can, which is not very fast right now.
Yeah, and the hard part there is they blew what could have been one of those big ults out of the Doomfist. Although it looks like Cthulhu is actually going to swap over to the Junkrat here. So now there's going to be a lot of ults available on both sides. The defense, they just popped the Orisa battery on that hold, nothing else. So a lot of ults available both ways.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to,
yeah, Wacky going straight in, dropping that minefield. Same play as before as he gets ahead of his team, but he's still got full health. Now Sleepy Slubcon up in the air for her team. This is looking all right for HAREM as they're kind of pushing the defense back right now. Here we go. The Dragon comes through. That's going to create a lot of pressure here. There's a few picks going through in both directions. Sleepy Subcom with a res on the Eggman, but dies in the process. HAREM is just getting a ton of damage out of this fight, and now it's just Dr. Eggman on the Roadhog alive. He gets HAREM, but he is not walking out of this one. That is first point over to HAREM's HAREM.
Yeah, they're gonna take that. It took them a little bit of time, but you know what? It's a time game. So as long as they complete it with some time, I think it's looking good.
Yeah.
Being that they have a lot of potential of just kind of get in your face, being the ball, jump grab, everything.
Yeah, Dr. Eggman, I was gonna question the ult, but he actually finds 2 there, so this will give Mad Bass a chance to kind of push up here on defense.
No, it's a pretty good ult. It was definitely nice because, oh.
Yeah, so here we go. It was a good ult, but it didn't actually stop the cart from pushing at all. So now Wacky Tabeki, I mean, just constantly been in the face of the entire enemy team, and very rarely under any actual threat.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they were able to capitalize on the 2 picks, but they didn't capitalize as much as they could have.
Yeah, now HAREM kind of getting picked apart here. They lose 2. And this is giving Mad Bass a chance to potentially push the line forward. Now this cart kind of in that difficult position to get onto. So we're going to see what HAREM can pull out here. 2 minutes to go.
See that which is
Seems like they're going to stick with Wacky and be able to kind of just, you know, swing around and knock them about and give the ability for the rest of his team to kind of go in and get into a ground where they can do more damage.
Yeah, by the way, this is turning into another one of those fights with a lot of ults available in both directions, and Wacky going in first with this team. Now here comes the Dragon through. Nice angle from HAREM. Gonna pick out Andrew Tetris early. Picks out Mia Eve Mimi as well, and this is looking good for Mad Bass. They do get a res onto the Mei, though, so it's currently 6v4 in favor of HAREM as this card is pushing, this team is pushing, and this is looking like the kind of fight that's gonna turn it up, capping the point. Now, Super T does make it in and get Wacky Tabaki, but I don't think that stops this push.
I don't think it's gonna stop it either. There's been some really nice sleeps and days on both teams. So.
Yeah, there's been some really good picks while this card is pushing, and it looks like the defense, they do want to try to hold this on the second point. Benny going in, getting that Moira heal, but that is nowhere near enough to hold this point. And this was just a really extended fight where Mad Bass was giving up grounds without actually contesting the movement in the cart. I think that actually cost them the opportunity to get an extra contest on that second point.
Yeah, one of the important things you want to like always think about is, like I said, you're battling for time. So if you get a pick and you capitalize on the pick and put people back, or you get 1 pick and then you waited 30 seconds, get 2 more picks or whatever, and yada yada yada, that's a huge win.
Okay, here we go. So now Tyre coming from up on top. Cthulhu and you trying to capitalize with the minefield going down as well, but the Tyre didn't do much. HAREM though does pick out Sleepy Subcon's Mei, and this is looking very good for HAREM. They found 3 picks already. They've lost no one, and this cart just inches away from the end of this game, looking like it's going to be 3 points going over to HAREM. And after a very slow start, they get on a complete roll and cap all 3 on King's Row.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice push for them. They did it very well. They were able to capitalize on pretty hard. It seems like that blue team, God, I can never remember everyone's name. Mad Bass. That they had a really good defense, and they never cared to like get their defense back in order after losing first point.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking too. Some teams, when they're holding, they can be really coordinated on defense, but when they have to kind of reestablish the hold, they just lost, and Mad Bass looked completely lost on reestablishing their defense there.
I mean, they did it once on one on the elbows of moving forward, but like after that, it's just like I said, pick, wait 10 seconds, another pick, 10 seconds. Like it's just, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gotta sit back and spawn, wait for your team. Or maybe just change something, you know, find a different counter, something else that you can do well. Like Wacky is, you know, getting a lot of mines and everything, so I mean, maybe trying to think of a better way to shut him down. You can see that he has a pattern. So like having, you know, maybe sitting one of your DPS or having somebody being able to just look for him and like just fuck with him. Instead of just
do
worrying
have some
about the
different
main field
picks
and then move.
coming out of Mad Bass here. They've got Anna Brigitte coming out as the support, so hopefully going to be able to disrupt that Wrecking Ball a little more. As Wacky is kind of being scouted out. Oh, that was just a beautiful slam out of the Tabaki.
Yeah, he's already at 50%.
Yeah, there we go, rolling in. There we go. Sleepy Subcom and Andrew Tetris going down quick in this fight. And they do get a hook onto Wacky, but no damage to stick. Good start for Haren's Harem.
Yeah, kind of curious if they want to stick with the Orisa Hog as much as possible here, because I mean, yes, the pole hook would do well, but like being able to scout that and get the knowledge of where he is more important. I don't know if they want to get the Tracer and have that do that. I don't know. They have to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, while they're thinking Wacky is slamming, and this is just a lot of poke damage, sticking a nice nade, gets a lot of members low. Wacky Tebeki now dropping the minefield in the backline. And Wacky Tebeki, I mean, he's literally soloing this team right now. He's nano boosted. Sleepy Subcon has already been killed. Wacky is just in there fucking up everybody right now. So deep from his team, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, and look at the DPS they have on the high ground, so this is going to be probably a wipe on.
Yeah, this has been a very rough engagement for Mad Bass. There's now some ults coming through Haren, dropping the dragon, and that's putting some pressure forward. Mad Bass has to move up toward. At this point, they do get a pick out of Cthulhu and you, though. Now we'll see what else they do. Haren dropping in there, trying to drop some arrows, and this is actually a lot of members of the Harem have fallen. Now I think it's just going to be Wacky trying to maybe stall some time here. Wacky and Jumanthro are both still alive, and they're kind of just buying some time, letting some teammates get closer from spawn. But now here we go, Wacky Tebeki on the point, just trying to buy time if they want to contest this point. But no, Wacky and Jumanthro both go down, and that will be first point over to Mad Bass.
And by the way, I was completely wrong. They did take it. But it seems like right now, like they gotta try to think about like, how do we deal with the ball? And they have ideas how to do it, but they're not really either communicating it or executing it as the way they want it to.
Yeah, and I really like this job out of Part-Time Jesus and Wacky. Or not, sorry, the other tanks. Well, we don't have no time. Cthulhu and you is down, but Wacky is committing with the minefield anyways. They want to stop this push while it's still in the choke point. They picked out Andrew Tetris' Reaper. It's a 5v5 here around the card. Now Benny down as well. This is looking all right for the defense. Haren's Harem is finally starting to reestablish here. Haren's up nice and high, getting a lot of arrows down on the back line. Wacky trying to back up, and they have pushed. Haren's gone down, but they have pushed this offense way back.
Yeah, they did a good job of pushing that back after having a Junkrat being a tank right in the front. So it's pretty good that they were able to succeed on that.
Yeah, a lot of ults coming up as we head into this next fight, so look for this to be a big one. So here we go. Rally coming out. Actually, just about everyone's all coming out. Jumanthro with a nice transcendence to keep all of his teammates safe in this choke point. A lot of the Qs have been pressed, but no kills so far. Wacky very deep. He's being slept, and I think Wacky makes it out with just a sliver of health. And all those Qs committed by the offense for no kills. Now, Haren with the counter ult. Part-Time Jesus is the first one to fall. So this defense is starting to lose some ground, but no, it's actually just Orisa's traded right now. The only kills, finally, Wacky finds a kill on a Sleepy Subcom. Haren finds that's both of the healers down for Mad Bass. I'm guessing this push is probably about to start stopping. Cthulhu and you raining some nice junk nades in there. And that should be enough to mop this team up.
Definitely is. And I'm after seeing what else they want to use, if anything, to help progress them. They do have some. Dr. Eggman does have a pretty nice hog ult that he has coming, because a lot of them are playing pretty close quarters. So we'll see if that potentially has a good, push.
Yeah, these teams down to an ult apiece right now. So we'll see how much things they can make him. As Wacky, he does get picked very early in this fight. This could be the opportunity that Mad Bass needed. Because now this card's finally moving forward. The Orisa barrier was dropped by Part-Time Jesus, but Cthulhu and you Jumanthro both down. That's a 6v3 in favor of Mad Bass on offense right now. And they are mopping this one up. They probably did not need to pop that dragon, but better safe than sorry, says Super T. Is Mad Bass trying to push this one forward? They should be able to get the second point out of this. But Wacky, not content to give this one up for free. He is right above the card here. Gonna presumably drop at the last second. Here we go. Haren dropping a dragon. That was a nice slam, and the dragon does pick out one. Andrew Tetris is down, but Wacky waiting for the last second. Here we go. Dropping the minefield on the card. Wacky has been purple, but there is very little damage sticking to him. And this maybe is going to be all right for Haren's Harem. They've already taken out the opposing Orisa, and now the entire team is reestablished on this card. They have pushed Mad Bass back with just a single pick, and Wacky is not done. He is chasing this all the way into the balls of hell right now. They found Super T as well, and that is a great last-second stall out of Wacky and company.
Yeah, so just make note, everyone. I guess their strategy is nano ball, just nano ball.
You know, I think that the Overwatch team sometimes try to overthink it, but when your best player is your best player, just let them go. And that is working so well for HAREM right now. Now 60 seconds remaining. A rallied offense coming in. They pick out Cthulhu and you very early here. That means that Junkrat Tire will not be available for the defense, but Junkrat Tire for the offense comes through, and Andrew Tetris finds 3, and this point is not going to be stalled any longer. Just Wacky trying to make a miracle here. But this second point is going to be captured by Mad Bass.
Now their biggest goal is that they need to take that point with at least some time in the bank. They cannot afford to have any seconds, because going for the draw is gonna suck. I mean, sorry, going for the loss or that. You know what I mean.
So yeah, we got a few ults available. Now here we go, Cthulhu and you tossing up the defensive Junkrat Tire, but it doesn't accomplish anything. By the way, Dr. Eggman has popped over to the D.Va here, so D.Va and Soldier came out before that last fight for Mad Bass. And, alright, the fight's breaking out. We've got a few trades here so far, but this is looking good for Mad Bass. They are up 2 right now, and they are pushing forward. HAREM trying to fall back, but Wacky Tabaki catches them kind of splitting. Goes in there, gets Sleepy Subcon picked out of the back line. Now this cart no longer moving. Wacky buying great time for his team to respawn as HAREM tossing the dragon out from spawn. Doesn't accomplish much with some zoning, but that's still a cart that's not moving. And now Wacky nanoed. Here we go, Transcend is coming out to equalize the Soldier ultimate here. We see picks being traded here. Super Team does find HAREM with the end of that tack visor. But this is still an extra pick going in the direction of the offense here. But the cart, they're still not able to quite get back on. There's only 52 seconds remaining as we have a 4v4 breaking out. And actually now this offense is doing a good job pushing forward. This is an outnumbered defense here as Wacky has come back from spawn. He slams on the cart, and they do get a pick onto the D.Va. Mad Bass has a Reinhardt out for the first time this match. This is 30 seconds remaining. This is high pressure here for Mad Bass because they either really need to win this fight or they need to get mopped and reset, and they may have taken a little too much time as Cthulhu and you comes through with this Doomfist swap, but he somehow finds 4 kills! And now there's only 20 seconds remaining. How does Mad Bass get back onto this cart?
I was actually watching that. Like, Benny was, he jumped out of the way to dodge it, and everyone's just like, no! Whew.
Yeah, and now a real panicky rush coming through from this offense. Remember, Lucio is banned this week, so there is no speed boost to get in. D.Va Bomb coming through, and Dr. Eggman, you food! What were you doing? You had one job! Dodge the D.Va Bomb, but Dr. Eggman trying to save this game, but so is Wacky Tabaki, and the ball is on the cart, and the ball is spinning. We've seen Wacky do this before. He can buy so much time, and it's so valuable right here. He's gotten some teammates out of his fall, but now Super Team with the tactical visor. Gonna try to end this, give his team a chance to keep playing. Not a lot of damage is sticking, but Super T is now starting to find kills, and this is looking good for Mad Bass. They found a bunch of the kills, and Mad Bass, with 0 seconds remaining, is going to get to the last point.
Man, that bomb is fucking nutty.
Just a complete lapse of game sense from the defense that had such an advantage, and then suddenly it's a good old gold-fashioned D.Va Bomb comes through and finds 3.
That was fucking. They needed that. I mean, just straight up, they needed it. Yeah, I was saying to say earlier that I really like the pick going to D.Va for that last point, for that last push, even though it did less of a counter to, but it definitely like countered a shit ton for their team. So their goal pretty much came off of killing the rest of their team and then worry about ball afterwards. You know, like most doctors.
Yeah, it worked. So here we go. We've got HAREM. We'll get to push. They have 99 seconds to go to try to get a tick out of this point to get a map win here.
I got 99 seconds and a ball ain't one. Hit me.
So on the defense, we got the very heavy heals coming through. We see this a lot when it's one of these shorter time frames. The Mercy, almost the requirement here is 1 pick can spell disaster, and you want that res available. On the offense, more of the same. HAREM seems to know what they're about, and they're going to go try to play it. So here we go. Can this Ryan D.Va tank core hold?
It's just gonna be really important watching that ball and watching them plunder on top of these people and how much all charge is gonna get. It's gonna be a big. Oh
Yeah,
man.
That's a big damage on Baddy nice and early as Wacky Tabaki clearing up some high ground here. He's created some space for his team to move forward as they're getting some damage that's kind of sticking. And now, here we go. Haren's Harem moving on to the point there. Here is a full team. Wacky Tabaki creating some good pressure in the back line. That Super T, one of the superstars on Mad Bash, is the first to fall. They're going to look for a res here, but I don't think they're going to be able to find it. Now, Wacky Tabaki, he's purple, and he is popped. It's a 5v5 on this point now. Dr. Eggman's. Yeah, there's a nano 9 now out of Baddy coming through, swinging away here, as we still have a very even fight. Cthulhu and you goes down, but there's a DMAC on the Dr. Eggman. And Haren popping the dragon here. It's going to kind of be a zoning dragon. As here we go, Sleepy Subcon up in the air on Mercy, getting some big heals out. And this is looking like a hold from the defense, and it was a very long fight. Is Glooba still being picked for Haren's Harem?
Yeah, I don't know if you actually noticed that, but Benny was actually holding the shield in front of ball so he wouldn't get healed.
Yeah, effective. It's now there's only 15 seconds here to go, so this is it. This is the fight for the winner of the draw out of Haren's Harem coming through. Wacky has an ult. There's actually a lot of ult charge available here for Haren's Harem, so keep an eye out here. Two-Man Pro is at 72. Watch for him to get that Transcendence as the spike starts to go on. Is Wacky in the back line. Benny gets the slam, but there is no one there to follow up. Wacky zoning an entire team by himself, and that causes Benny to die. Eggman is DMAC, and now a tire coming through. It is not going to matter. Haren's Harem mops up this fight, and Haren's Harem is gonna take the win on King's Row.
I mean, they were scared of what happened with that ball and all those mines, but they were way too scared, and they could not help their team as much as they need. Right at that end.
And you
However,
see the Wacky Tabaki effect. Super T gonna gets the consolation prize of play of the game here. Gonna be this giant McCree Deadeye that held this point earlier. Comes in, clicks a few heads, and then bam, just no shields available. Top the team, finish Wacky for good measure.
It was a very nice all. Good job, Super T. You deserve it, you magnificent man, you. Yeah. Anyway.
Like you were saying though, that last fight was so. It showed the Wacky Tabaki effect so clearly. It looks like everyone on Mad Bass is spending pretty much every waking moment wondering what can we do to slow down this wrecking ball, sometimes to their detriment, as we saw there at the end.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it'd be nice to have multiple ways to deal with them. And like I think what they're happening is like they're talking about like, hey, listen, this counter him. Let's have all these things, but no one is really focusing too hard on it. Or if they are, they're missing the opportunity to. So like if I have like a sleep and then a nade, right? Those are really good against dealing with it. But if you're also worrying about the rest of your team because you kind of fucking have to, that's going to take away a lot. So like it's kind of finding that balance of like how do you deal with it, how do you not deal with it, like what about the rest of the people, should I dance for a few seconds, should I like learn how to do crutches, like what's going on, so we'll see how they deal with it now. But so we're going to the next game. We have Rialto. Rialto is probably one of my personal favorite maps. Not because I like playing Risk on the first point and pulling people off, but I kind of do actually. That's kind of one of the main reasons why I like Rialto.
It's a good. It's a good reason. It's a good map. I also am a big fan of Rialto.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's one of those.
We don't have to worry about any of those goddamn draws.
That's true. That's true. Unless no one ever touches the fucking payload at all from the beginning.
That would be impressive.
I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, I guess maybe I wouldn't. I feel like it would just be AFK, and then that would be it. But yeah, so it's you definitely, like I said, you can't draw, can't be done. But what I like about these maps is that it's really a way to show how big your junk is when you're pushing the other team, if you're on attack. Like, these maps are really great at just, like, finding out, like, which is, like, the team that's just like, you know what? Let's just fucking do this and go and kill them, right? But, like, it's...
Alright, real quick, though, for anyone that may have missed it, we did have one role swap here. Andrew Tetris and Dr. Eggman swapping DPS and tank here. So gonna see if that can give them an edge in this next game. So that is the high ranks from Mad Bass coming through as the 2 DPS.
Yeah, double DPS, and I'm doing like into the Hanzo and the Power Man. That's a Luke Cage show. But they're going with Doomfist. And it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. They're probably going to die pretty hard in the backline, at least with the Doomfist, but we'll see.
Yeah, and on the other side, who would have guessed that Wacky Tabaki coming through? I said he might play every minute of this match on Wrecking Ball, and I've been right so far, as he has already bought his team the space to get around this first quarter.
And there the ball is already diving in. Whew.
Yeah, Wacky looks very confident here as he, all according to plan, makes out with a sliver of health yet again, as finally Mad Bass is able to stop this card from pushing anymore. Andrew Tetris on the Reinhardt is kind of creating some pressure as tanks have been traded. Benny and part-time Jesus both going down. Now Cthulhu and you going to lose the Doom duel. And this is looking like a hold for now for the defense.
Yeah, it seems like right now, like Andrew's just really trying to make it so the rest of their team doesn't deal with anything behind them, while the rest of their team, his team, tries to deal with the ball. And you know what? I think that's okay if that works.
Yeah, that's been working. I've liked that so far. We'll see if they can keep it up. As now Wacky getting more and more pressure here. As Dr. Eggman is in pretty deep. Dr. Eggman, that may have been a defensive meteor strike. I didn't have great eyes on him, as yeah, he is going straight up to the high ground to get topped off. A Wacky dropping the minefield very far back.
No, it definitely is. It was definitely defensive. He was going after the ball, make sure the ball doesn't fuck with the rest of his team. So it was pretty. It was needed.
Yeah, now Super T forcing a transcendence out of G-Man Pro, but they still lost Wacky Tabaki in the process. This has been a lot of staggering. As now HAREM dropping a dragon from the other direction. That is just slicing through the enemy team. But Benny finds the opposing healers with their pants down. As we've got a lot of body straight, just a few members remaining here on this card as Dr. Eggman getting popped here, and now it's just Sleepy Subcon on this Mercy gonna die on cart because there is no escaping here for the Witch. That is gonna be some good cart pressure for HAREM.
Actually, it won't be that much. They delayed long enough, having both Doomfist and a fucking Mercy to help with that shit. Like now they can just kind of get back.
Yeah, so they will try to contest this point, but Wacky's gonna try to force people off. Now here we go, a Meteor Strike going up. Cthulhu and you didn't quite catch what he was going for there, but defense has the chance here. Is this Doomfist, this Wrecking Ball, they are just all over this back line right now, just trying to create some pressure. Now Andrew Tetris dropping a hammer. I think that was into a shield, but Wacky and G-Man Pro are both down. This is looking good for Mad Bass as they're up 2 right now, and now they're kind of starting to push forward.
Yeah, that may have been a mistake on the Shatter, but if that worked, it would have been nice.
Yeah, and HAREM not done fighting. HAREM does find the Reinhardt with his dragon, but Super T finds the Orisa in the other direction. HAREM, though, finding some picks, and they did get the point while all this chaos was going on. And now a lot of members of Mad Bass, they're outnumbered, they're being chased, and these could be some long spawns forced. Is Wacky going nice and deep here.
Yeah, and like I said, it's always going to be Dr. Eggman just focusing on Ball a lot of the time, making sure he doesn't fucking kill the rest of his team. He actually is doing that pretty nicely. We don't see a lot of dangerous ball maneuver in this. I mean, it's still there, but not as much as it was last map.
Now, HAREM did get picked here, so this will be a man advantage for HAREM, but they do not give a damn as Wacky Becky sees his shot and he shoots it, takes out the enemy Mercy. Super T down as well. Now this is a man advantage for HAREM on the offense here. They're taking out both the opposing healers. They are up 4, and this is going to be a lot of pressure towards point 2. As this card is being pushed uncontested, and that was one fight to take the second point.
And they got it.
Big win for HAREM.
It's definitely a dangerous thing, being aggressive on Ball and being the defense to deal with that stuff. You're more likely to see something like this.
Yeah, this is working great for the HAREM here. Wacky is coming through huge. And now they have 4 minutes almost to try and get this last point on Rialto. And, I mean, they haven't been losing a fight in a while. And now there's kind of a telegraph Devo coming through, but it does find the 2 snipers in the back line. HAREM and Gluma both going down, and that's going to be an opportunity off of just one ult for Mad Bass to finally stop this offense.
I mean, it was a very nice ult. He waited for shield to be down, and he saw that they were in a pretty bad spot for them to run away and get out. So he was pretty spot on in my book.
Yeah, you take those.
And we'll have to use one ult. It's nice. It's nice. But it seems like, once again, Ball is just being a reckless in the back, and most of their team is just dealing with that, which means they can't deal with the front line.
Yeah, there is a lot of ults available here for HAREM, but a lot of ults close for Mad Bass. So if this fight goes on long, this could turn into a lot of Qs being pressed. There's two-man throw coming in from deep. But here we go. It's a one-for-one trade. Sleepy Subcon's Mercy goes down before the Valkyrie can come through. But still kind of a slow start to this fight, as now some ults are coming to charge for Mad Bass on the defense. 4 versus 4 on this cart right now. But it's looking like Dr. Eggman has kind of zoned his offense back, and a few Q presses didn't accomplish much for HAREM.
Yeah, going for those easy picks are definitely going to be pretty important for him to do. The more picks you get before Ball fucking kills them all, then that's all that matters. It's a team game, it's not a wacky game.
The wolf marks his prey.
Oh, okay. That might have been a misclick.
Yeah, very unfortunate. That could be one of the big ults down. HAREM going to take that opportunity to push with the Dragon. They've already lost their Wacky Ball, though. But a Nano coming through out of Dr. Eggman's Doomfist as he's trying to find some picks. Kind of slow now. Super T in the back line. Dead Eyes straight into the cart. This is a very slow, methodical fight coming through, and Cthulhu and you takes out Eggman. Now both of the Doomfists down. Part-time Jesus down on the offense, but Wacky has made it back from spawn. Sleepy Subcon gets a res onto Eggman. This is once again looking good for the defense here as they have forced HAREM back.
Yeah, right now they are holding it pretty well. They're doing a solid job. They're getting picks that they need, and then they're pushing a little bit just to get some a couple more picks, and then I guess that's it. But
yeah, the defense been kind of reestablished, and this is real though, pretty hard map to finish off as the attacking team, but there hasn't really been anything invented. Well, actually, as I'm about to say, no swaps have come through in a while. HAREM does make the swap over to McCree. Not the first character I think of when I think of HAREM, but maybe this will work for them to work on this opposing Doomfist event. Wacky has dropped the minefield while I was rambling, and now Benny is down. A slow kind of fight come through. Does force the res here, so Benny is back. 6v6 still available on this cart. Or no, I take that back. Cthulhu when you goes down. Part-time Jesus down. This is once again a defensive team fight win. Not a lot of time remaining, so HAREM needs to be careful not to get staggered here. Is Dr. Eggman does get kind of caught going a little deep here. This will maybe be an offensive opening for HAREM here. 25 seconds to go.
well, Dr. Eggman's going to be there pretty quick, because Doomfist is pretty quick to get there. So not as quick as Ball.
Oh,
you know.
but that's big though. Super T is down now. And this is a real 6v5. Gonna be one of the final fights of the game. So here we go. Meteor Strike going up. Meteor Strike going up. Meteor Strike coming down. I didn't even catch where the other one went down. But Cthulhu and you gonna get the pop onto Eggman. Now here we go. Res onto that Eggman. So this is everyone available here. Overtime on the cart. This is going to be a Wacky Tabaki going deep. He has the minefield available. And there it is. Dropped in the back end. Sleepy Subcon up in the air. Valkyrie healing the Mercy's team while Wacky is the first to fall here. And now a big hammer gets HAREM in the back line. HAREM kind of falling apart here, looking like this is going to be it, as they are not getting any picks. They are getting picked, and that is going to be a hold out of Mad Bass.
That was a much better hold. That was, you know what? I'm going to clap for you. Good job, guys. Way to hold.
0-2.
Yeah, after being pushed on for a while, it's felt like finally getting some momentum going their way.
Yeah, especially McCree was pretty important. And it's not just for Ball having that little stun, doing some more damage to get him down, but it's also for that Doomfist, because that Doomfist is diving in, and he has the potential of just one-shotting anyone. Well, not anyone. Almost anyone. How about that? So it's really important to get that stun and just take him out, because if you can have someone who's just going to dive into your team, kill him right off the bat, then worry about the rest of their team with just an ability of using the firecracker. I forgot exactly what the name it is. It's pretty important, you know? So
yeah, so we'll see if there's going to be any swaps here, as like I was saying earlier, HAREM has been pretty committed to the same core of this team. Jumanfro on the Brigitte right now, so that's something a little different. HAREM still starting on this McCree. But on the other side, we got Super T right now hovering the Widowmaker.
yeah, I think that's going to be for about less than 20 seconds. maybe less than a minute, but it's not gonna last that long. Probably gonna go first a pick, see what he can do with it. Maybe go and a little bit adventurous and get a pick outside of his home zone, if you call it that. But I don't think it's gonna last that long.
Yeah, Mad Bass kind of taking advantage of no Zarya available as there's rocking the Mercy Moira saying, you know, who needs one of those big defensive ults? And nice out of Wacky to get the immediate boot to start this one.
Yeah, you don't want to see that on being Mad Bass.
But despite that, Mad Bass able to keep pushing this card up a bit.
Yeah, they're holding the ground.
All it really did was generate ult charge for Wacky Tabaki, but that's still something. Because now here we go, Wacky. Ooh, they do pick out Sleepy Subcon from the backline. That Mercy down, Dr. Eggman down as well. And I don't know much about this Dr. Eggman guy, but everyone in Twitch chat talks about him feeding, and he seems to be dying first a lot.
Well, I mean, it's a little unfortunate if you got a McCree stun and a break stun right into your fucking face. You don't want to see that ever in anyone. So, ouch.
Yeah, and a nice, another nice hold fights.
And it might happen again.
Yeah, Wacky going in, slamming down, but Wacky finally gets punished for his crimes against the cart. That's a really kind of a split fight here. A lot of just poke back, although part-time Jesus though does get popped as the shield goes down. And now here is some momentum for the offense, but they're going to go for a nano onto Cthulhu and you. Here we go. Super T does find Gluba, Jumanfro as well. And this Harem though trying to go behind, but does not accomplish anything. And a really awkward choice to commit there when they were 4v6. The Harem decides to pop some big ults and try and go for a play. It doesn't end up working out for him, and that is going to be a first point, I assume, going out. But I don't know. Where's Wacky? Where's Wacky? There's Wacky. Oh, Wacky's on the cart. There's a minefield. AJ has 0. You fucking platinum Goomba. Of course they were going to contest this cart. As Wacky is just whacking around right now. And now here we go. Cthulhu and you slamming down. Both of these Dooms slamming down, but no one quite finding anything. Wacky being chunked out, though.
And you're deciding that he wants to take a swim rather than play in the fight, so...
Yeah, here we go. Hearing a lot of things, and I'm not quite sure what was going on there with the McCrees, but this has been a good fight for Mad Bass as they're mopping up just about everyone on this cart. And that's going to be the point going over to Mad Bass here.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now. It seems like they're playing more as a team, which is very important. That's how you win, in my book.
Right, rumor has it is a team game.
Yeah, this is basically not chess.
Hey there.
I want everyone to understand that. Overwatch is not chess. Thank you.
Alright, here we go. Kind of a split here is some of the offense pushed up pretty far. Now, Subcon gets popped right as the Valkyrie comes up. Cthulhu and you does go down though, so it's a 5v5 popping out. As Tabaki is rolling around this cart right now. We do see Nano charged here. Sorry, there's a Nano onto the ball that got a little bit of pressure, but not much else. But Harem did go down while all this was ongoing. As Andrew Tetris playing very aggressively here, trying to create pressure for his team. As this Ryan very low, Ryan going to go down to his protege, and this is looking good for Harem here. There is a Doomfist in their back line, as Eggman does pick out Gluba here before going down, but Harem's going to hold this card.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of Harem. A lot of
Harem gonna show why he gets the Harem with the nice McCree ult onto the healers.
A lot of Harem definitely has a lot of dive, which is just really a focus on what Bass wants to do against this team. Like, they're trying to play pretty close quarters together, which is it can work as long as you target priority on what dives you.
Well, and more often than not, it feels like Harem has been successfully able to pick out one of these big healers from Mad Bass nice and early. And now Tabaki is whacking off in this back line yet again. Minefield down, has everyone turning, looking behind them. And this is just creating time for them to find this pick onto Jumanfro's Brigitte. Now Cthulhu and you down as well. Super T down. It's looking like Wacky's engaged was not quite enough here. This is a 6v3 in favor of Mad Bass, and they are pushing very forward right now. HAREM up in the high ground, trying to find something, not able to. And that, I think, is going to be the point.
I mean, it definitely could be right here. Depends what they're doing. But no, they're going to contest it. They're going to go for it. Oh, but the stun stops them from the pile drive.
You know, Meteor Strike coming through. This is bought a lot of time. There's a lot of ults available here from Mad Bass, and they are popping pretty much all of them.
Yeah, but they're going to defend just enough. And Super T is just going to go and just take
God.
out
Super
everybody.
T cleans HAREM's HAREM off the map. And by the way, I want to correct myself. There was only half of the ults popped there by Mad Bass. So there's still 3 available, including big ones, Rhine Slam and Valkyrie, coming through for this next one.
Yeah, looks like Bass is going to play a little bit. Should be playing a bit passive, not having everyone with them. But we'll see what they do in this decision. I mean, right now the shield of Ryan is down pretty hard, and they're going to start a fight, which is not something we want, but here we go.
Yeah, Sleepy Subcon going up into the air nice and early, trying to make sure the team is topped off as this fight breaks up with Dr. Eggman. Still going to be the first to fall here for the offense. It's HAREM seeing what they can do to reestablish. Wacky slamming around, but there we go. A nice slam out of Andrew Tetris, but there was no one in position to follow up. And HAREM with a great Deadeye that stops anyone from pushing into that hammer slam.
Yeah.
And now this is looking like a hold. That was just a brilliant Deadeye out of HAREM there. That his team was going to be in a very bad spot.
Well, it looks like they didn't have too many deaths, so they're able to kind of regroup pretty quickly, and they're going to start pushing in right now. And with the pick already on Doomfist, that's just going to be a 5v6 to start this fight, without any shield damage being done to them that much.
Yeah, but Wacky, though, he doesn't care about being outmanned. He knows he has the opportunity to find big plays, tries to drop the minefield, and it does find Sleepy Subcon. That's a big pick on the Mercy. And now Benny down as well, and this means numbers advantage going back to HAREM on defense here, as the Orisa's going to be traded, nothing of value lost, but Cthulhu and you down with a Doomfist Slam available. Now here we go, Super T looking for it, finds HAREM, who is now onto the May. Meteor Strike coming through from Dr. Eggman. Doesn't find much. Maybe just going to set him up to be picked here. As Sleepy Subcon does find a res onto Super T. And it looks like this is going to be a committal fight here out of the offense who have the Orisa battery. They are pushing this one very far forward. By the way, remember, they do not have to get all the way to the end here. They only need to get about another meter. As I had lost track of that. And now Andrew Tetris coming through huge. Super T with some shots. And HAREM just in this ice block buying some time. But it is not going to be enough.
Mad Bass is going to take that for their first win. Good job, guys.
Yeah, well done out of Mad Bass. As they come through with a huge last fight. Play of the game going to be Super T, who had a couple of just gigantic fights in this game. But it's looking like it's going to be this one. We're looking at 0% on the ult charge. Who gives a shit? I'm a hit scan. You have a head. You are a target. As he comes through and gets the quintuple.
Yeah, it was a really spot-on shooting. Good job, Super. I do also want to point out that every time Ryan had a shield down, or even with other people, like Luba has been getting those sleeps and nades. So like I've been seeing that. You still getting them nap time for them peoples, you know. So nice aim botting. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yes,
But
now we're going to head on to Oasis for map 3, which is going to be match point between these two teams. By the way, Mad Bass, that is their first win of the season. So congrats to them finally shifting some momentum after a difficult first week against one of the potential best teams in the league.
I mean,
they still have the chance to get a win here in week 2. I know if you were paying attention to the pre-show and the rankings, HAREM has said he is very confident that Mad Bass is the second best team in the league, despite what happened last week. So they're going to have the chance to prove for it here on Oasis.
You know, I think they're all a great team. I think everyone's a good team, and you're all just going to do fine. We're not gonna like sweep. Let's be real. Like we talk, we whatever. We're not gonna just wipe out the floor with everyone. It's not gonna happen. So don't worry about it. We'll see. This next match we'll probably lose just to help things out. But yeah, this next map, like I said, we're gonna break the tie to see who's actually gonna take it in for the win. It's gonna be pretty important to watch. I mean, last map was really enjoyable. I definitely saw some pretty nice plays. It wasn't like a lackluster of bullshit. So let's see what this next map does. Having it be on Oasis, balls be able to swing and have a lot of fun. At least on 2 of the maps. So we'll definitely get to see some more balls being thrown at people's faces.
Yeah, my prediction at the start was Wacky Tabacky's going to spend every minute of this match on Wrecking Ball, and so far that has been the case.
Welcome.
I mean, it definitely is, yeah. I'm actually curious if any team wants to do a Sombra, because they do have a Doomfist, they do have a ball. That is a lot of like hack-worthy targets. I mean, I know that's personally it's me, and no one really wants to do Sombra because like why, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it could be a pretty rational pick here.
Yeah,
I don't know the Mad Bass players well enough to know if anyone plays the character. I know HAREM plays it, but you know that's not going to help out Mad Bass right now. So we'll see here. Oasis. Well, as we say that, Cthulhu and you actually hovering the Sombra. So HAREM has played Sombra in the past, very keen to what makes her effective. Maybe gonna say, hey Cthulhu, get on this.
Yeah, maybe he told some trade secrets. Speak. All right, listen. With Sombra, when you take your teleport and you throw it, you have to throw it off the map or into a car.
Yes, HAREM, baby, we're back. Takamakura Death Squad coming through with HAREM on the Sombra here. This was a gigantic pick for us. I love this. So keep an eye out. HAREM always has great game sense on just a lot of Sombra's intricacies. I'm really excited to see this in action. But I'm also excited to see if Wacky can keep to backing off on this back line here.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to watch to see how this all works out.
Yeah, as Andrew Tetris getting pretty split from his team there, and that's Wacky just going straight in. That did not seem like the optimal Reinhardt play. But no picks thus far. Wacky's still very deep in the back line, and Wacky is going to fall for it.
Yeah, even though like it was interesting because he did just kind of jump down just to have fun, but it separated their team pretty hard, and they weren't able to capitalize. Ooh.
Yeah, now it's picks being traded here. There is going to be potential for both these teams to find the point. That's actually a huge res on a Sleepy Subcon onto the co-healer there. As Moira already has an ult available, now HAREM going down. This is looking like it's going to be good for Mad Bass, but Wacky is on the, well, Wacky was on the point. Not anymore, and that is initial capture going the way of Mad Bass.
Well, technically his body is on the point, it's just dead.
XD.
It's always interesting to have like your camera right on top of the Doomfist when he smacks somebody into a wall, because like that big crunch of just like, oh, my bones. Oy vey.
Oy vey indeed. Don't like it. That's me. I'm the Mercy. I'm the one being slammed into the wall. Oh, Wacky. The one with the ball is, wait a second! Mad Bass just gives up the point! Wacky goes in there and steals their point, at least for a moment, but this probably won't last for long here. Because we'll see how long can Wacky stall on this point. He does have Junantro, was dumping some healing into him, and Wacky still has some health available. But hey, that's, 16% that should have been the other teams. That's a win-ish.
I mean, it's interesting. Maybe they didn't have the cooldowns or the position that they wanted to start that fight, so they had to wait. And then they did get the kills that they really needed, so maybe that waiting was important and very good to do, So even if they got a little bit of percentage, they still have
there is a lot of ult available here. There's going to be a big fight that Wacky Tabaki will not be alive for as he goes down early. And now I think that Mad Bass really do get a pick onto Eggman as everyone's looking for this fight off to the side. HAREM, he could find a huge EMP if he's keeping an eye out for it. Now, Meteor Strike coming through from Cthulhu, and he doesn't get the kill. Well, it does set him up to finish off Super T, though. And it looks like despite the lack of the ball at the start, Mad Bass is being engaged on here. Sleepy Subcon does get, I think, our first Mercy kill on stream of the season. Cthulhu and you going down to the pistol. As there's been a very slow fight, very patient with the ults here. As no one's popped a lot of them.
Yeah, there's been
up through from Eggman looking for this backline, kind of zoning apart here. As this is 85% of this point, this is kind of go time in a bad time for HAREM's HAREM, as they're gonna have a really hard time getting back to this point.
I'm going
Yeah, it's
to
gonna be
make
very
this
difficult. They
unfair.
definitely, when they were losing the fights, they lost very
going to
slowly,
make you
and they lost a
unstrung.
lot of percent.
Yeah, now HAREM does make it on the point. He's going to EMP just to get some time there. Now Wacky Tabaki there as well. A Nano Doomfist coming through. But Super T up on the high ground with the Deadeye finds Wacky. HAREM is down as well. Wacky never getting a minefield off of what could be the final fight of the round. And now Super T coming through big, finding more kills. And this is looking like one mad bass. Gonna take this with a team kill in 100-16 first point of Oasis.
Yeah, that was a really good defensive fighting that they did. I also want to keep note that if you have a shield out, like defend your main people, and your ball is diving behind you, like even if he knocks you up in the air, you can charge him. So, especially with the way Ryan's knockback works, how it's like so much less. It's a free 300 damage. So keep that in mind. All the Ryan chargers out there who want to have some fun. That's how you have fun.
Much as any other.
So looking at these initial hovers here, looks like the Sombra maybe did not accomplish what HAREM's HAREM had hoped it would. And so they're going to swap back to pretty much what we saw them, one of the few variants we saw them running up before the last rounds. Well, no, actually, Cthulhu and you going to swap over to the May last second here, so that's going to be the change here. We'll see what that can do.
I think the maze is a little bit more important on this map, because usually with this map you kind of want to have a big shield in the front, and being that you have a ball Orisa, it's not a lot of shield damage being done. With the May wall already being used though, they can just kind of fucking step right in.
And everyone making their way onto the point. Wacky was just kind of poking around in this back line. As the point is up, and Super T wins the McCree duel. HAREM the first to fall in this first fight of the rounds. And May has been dropped out of the low ground, so this could be a good opportunity for Mad Bass, but they have got to focus a lot of eyes onto Wacky. But there we go, Wacky touches at the last second here. This team does not want to give this point up yet, but they got to be careful. They only have one on the point. Cthulhu and you buying some nice time here in the ice block, but Wacky Tabaki has fallen, and that means this point is going to flip over to Mad Bass here.
Yeah, and Super T having that high ground, just fucking nailing everyone from the side. That's pretty big. It's pretty big and important. Seems like right now they're just gonna stick with the whole double shield thing, which is, I think, perfectly fine. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to press against this team. At least your whole team, and Vulcan's kind of like, we're walking right in, but you know what? For everyone else, it's gonna be pretty difficult to get close.
Here we go, so this team engaging again.
Oof. That is gonna be suck in, and then it's gonna be a 4v6 for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, oof, the ball field comes down, but it's probably gonna all be for naught here. Is Mad Bass once again holding on to the fish, keeping this point alive.
They're just slapping them silly.
Yeah, that they are. This is HAREM's HAREM is kind of looking lost here on Oasis, and now we see Part-Time Jesus swaps over to the Reinhardt here. So keeping an eye on some ults. This is still there's some ults coming close here, but this is really the fight. HAREM's HAREM probably has to win this fight to have a chance here. And HAREM with the pick on his Super T. That is exactly what they needed. That's a Deadeye unavailable for the point defenders. They do lose Jumantro. They do lose Cthulhu and you Eggman with two big picks. Make that three as he finds Glooba. And as I say, HAREM's HAREM has to win this fight. They have a very unfortunate entry. HAREM does find Eggman though, but this is still advantage for Mad Bass here. And oh man, HAREM though does come through with a few kills. And there's going to be a chance for a last second challenge here. HAREM can touch this point. Wacky has made it back as well. HAREM gets picked, but Wacky is there. The minefield is down. And now how much time can one ball buy? Big slam out of Andrew Tetris, but Glooba coming back from spawn gets the sleep that stops a bigger follow-up, but it may not matter. Cthulhu and Glooba both going down here. Wacky does take out the opposing Mercy though. This is still big advantage for Mad Bass, and now Wacky Tabaki is down, and that is it. An absolute slaughter on Oasis, and Mad Bass runs it back to take this series 2-1.
Yeah, Mad Bass was practicing this map for about 13 hours. No, I have no idea. But it definitely is pretty...
Play of the game going over to Dr. Eggman X here. As another one of these no-ult required plays comes in and just mops up this ultimate fight. Nice and early before anyone has a chance to get set up with their ult. A great engage.
he has a lot of really big fucking hits. Like he's been getting a lot of picks early on, and that's kind of the clutch you need to win fights. It was brah. That's all I say. It was just brah.
Yo, real quick, because I promised the story to Twitch chat, I want to tell this before we cut to game 2. But shout out to HAREM, who his way to keep his team from tilting is every time he rages, he mutes his mic so that he can cuss out everyone on his team for fucking up. And then sometimes he forgets to unmute the mic. And it's the cutest little thing. So everyone, take good care of the cute little ragers in your life.
Yeah, pet them, make sure they're getting water too. It's important.
So that's going to do it for game 1, guys. We'll be back in a minute. No Talk We Angie. Going to see if they can keep their win streak alive against social distancing from the cart. So stay tuned.
We'll try.